What's up, YouTube? I'm going to show you how to build an inexpensive tent for your wet saw so you can keep all the particles, dust, tile debris, everything else enclosed so you can keep your tile saw as close as possible to where you're installing your tile. Because nothing is worse than making constant trips back and forth and adding hours to your install time because your tile saw cannot be right next to you. This build is going to save you hundreds of dollars because ones that they're selling online sell for like $500. So here's everything you need to get. You'll start with 6 10-foot PVC pipes. This is Schedule 40. These are about $6 each. You could get lighter duty and save some money. Those are maybe like $4 or $5 each. But I like the Schedule 40 because it's a little more rigid. So cut your 6 10-foot pieces into 4 60-inch pieces, 3 48-inch pieces, and then 6 35-inch pieces. Next, you'll need the fittings to put the pipe into. So these are the corner fittings. You'll need 6 of these that have the 3 slots. And then you'll need 4 of the 45-degree angles. And I want to mention these are all 1-inch fittings and 1-inch pipes. You could go with 3/4 or even 1/2 inch, but again, I like the rigidity and I tend to overbuild things, as you may have noticed on my channel. So know that you could save money by going with smaller diameter pipes. And then for my waterproof base that's going to actually hold water if it actually leaks out of the tile saw, I'm going with a pan liner. This is the OD pan liner. I'll leave a link for all these things in the description. But you could also, if you wanted to save money, this is about $35. You could also just double up a tarp or triple up a tarp. But again, I like to overbuild things, so I'm going with this. I think it's a 40 millimeter or 60 millimeter thickness of this plastic PVC liner. And then I did also get shower pan liner adhesive to glue the corners up once I figure out my final tile saw layout and dimensions that I want the pan to be. And after I get the frame built, I'm going to put this 6 millimeter plastic sheeting over the top of it, and then I'll put some clamps to hold that in place. Once again, all this will be linked in the description, so check it out. So we've got our 60-inch sides here, and then I'll start with the corner here. And I'm not going to glue any of these fittings because I want to be able to take it apart for transport. So these are all just going to be pushed in and not glued. So I want each one of these corner fittings will go on the bottom. Try to get them sort of lined up together. All right, so next will be the 48 inches. Got 60 inches on the side, 48 inches wide. So it'll be one 48 inches down here, and then the other one will be up here. Is that right? No. All right, helps you grab the right pipe, 48 inches. And then the 2 remaining 60-inch pipes are going to go in the back corners, which will give you the maximum height. And then the last 2 corners will go in the back top. Then the last 45 will go up here. And then 35's in the front here. Just looking at it, I don't think I'm going to need it to be this wide. And then the 45-degree angles will be in these corners. And then another 45 will go here. So we got this 45 meeting in the upper. And then that will connect to the back. And then same on the other side. 45 in the corner, connecting to the back. All right, so now that I have the frame set up, I'm going to put my wet saw in and decide if I want to change any of the dimensions. Obviously, the wider it is, the more trouble you're going to have getting around it if you're walking around a room or in a bathroom. Or being this wide, I don't know if this would actually fit in most bathrooms or spaces where you're going to need it. So I think I am going to make this a little less wide. Like I said, this does have a little table on the side, so I gotta leave room for that, but alright, I think I'm happy with how deep it is, because there's this kind of splash pad which does catch a lot of the water, so that'll be nice to have. So I'm happy with how deep it is, but I really don't need it this wide, so I think I'm gonna take off. Yeah, so you could get away with these 3 pieces that I said were 48 inches. You could get away with them being 36 inches. I guess it also depends on where you're going to be cutting. So if you have a lot of cuts where you're going to have boards that are, you know, coming out to here, then you might want that extra. So I just grabbed a tile here just for demonstration. So if you're just making a tiny cut on this, this is a 12 by 24, then you would want, you know, a good amount of space here. But I think I can still get away with taking a few inches off. So after seeing how far a 12 by 24 tile is coming out, I'm going to take 5 inches off my 48-inch pieces here to bring the width down to a manageable level, I think, because I think it's just a little wide right now. And I'm just using one of these ratchet cutters to cut the PVC. All right, now that I have the frame set, I'm going to go ahead and set where I want the pan to be. So I'm just going to follow my base of my frame here. Just do one corner over, glue it, and then other corner over to glue it again. So again, I'm using the OD pan liner adhesive. You could also just wrap this in a tarp, but you're risking, you know, if you're going to place this in a client's bathroom or someplace like on carpet, I don't know if I would risk that, depending on how much your wet saw disperses water. All right, this is a cool little sponge. All right, so that's going to be my first corner. So let's see if I can not make a mess here. All right, I didn't actually read the directions before I started putting it on, but you're not supposed to just put it on and then put it together. You're supposed to wait. It's like contact cement. So you're supposed to coat it, wait 1 to 3 minutes, and then put the pieces together. So I'm going to do a better job of coating this and then leave it sit. All right, this glue has been sitting another 5 minutes, so I'm just going to wrap this one around. Notice how it's pretty tight against the corner here. That's what we want. And then the actual sheeting is going to go along that too. All right, the goal for the sheeting is just to be able to just wrap it around with one wrap, and then it should be enough for the top too. All right, so I have one tucked all the way around and then just tucked it in at the bottom. All right, so I have one sheet that is just all going all the way around, and I've tucked it in at the bottom just so no water or spray can get under it. And then the pan comes up, and I've got a clamp. You could also get like a 4.5-inch clamp that would go around here. Give it another clamp here, and then this is a 3.5-inch clamp, but which does work, but it really needs like a 4.5-inch clamp. So, and then give one more clamps here to tighten this up. Obviously this is a little loose, so some clamps on each side, and then this would be good to go. And yeah, this is about $100 in materials. I'll leave a list below, but way better than the alternative of 450 to 500 bucks. All right, there we go. A cheap way to make a waterproof tent for your tile saw. And obviously it'll look prettier when it's all buttoned up nice with clamps and nice and tight. Let me know in the comments if you have a better design idea. And once again, all the links are in the description for all the items here. And happy tile sawing.